Hello all, it's good to see you all again. Unfortunately not. I'm Matthew Marr from Long Island, New York, and a finance major over here at Darla Moore. Today I'll be expanding on my topic and offering more potential counter arguments that the opposition could bring. So the consumption of alcohol is a major occurrence that takes place throughout the span of someone's life. In some cultures, alcohol is even deemed as a sacred part of the religion, and it can be utilized in different types of religious gatherings. For example, the bread with the Catholic Church. It's just something I don't see going away, which is why it's more important that it becomes more appropriated within our society and becomes safer to be used. There's a lot of history that the world has endured watching the change of the average person's perspective change on alcohol. Currently in most states, the drinking age remains 21, which I believe needs to be altered to 18 as soon as possible for a majority of reasons. The major question brought up about this immense change is whether or not it is ethical or not to change the drinking age to 18. There's a truly big gray area when it comes to the discussion, and both sides are able to provide great arguments on why their stance is correct. Disagreeers of this claim may decide to use science or ethics to support their claim. For example, a potential argument that they may use would be to say how the brain is not fully developed by the age of 18, so therefore it can pose potential harm to oneself as well as to others in the vicinity / just some sort of connection if it's not responsible. In addition, they can say that 18-year-olds are not mature enough to handle responsibility that great and could lead to serious ramifications, which is both great points, would, should see these problems happening, but I feel like there are many more elements that can be addressed. I've always found the word ethical to be difficult to understand. Like, what is ethical? The dictionary definition is relating to moral principles or the branch of knowledge dealing with these. But what if what if we're looking at the world differently? What if we have different moral principles? And how can you make a clear ethical statement? My definition of ethics is whether something could be deemed to be right or wrong. My first way to approach the ethicalness is to bring up some of the non-ethical aspects of keeping the drinking age at 18. What we are really seeing in this country is the emergence of binge drinking, a terrible and extremely dangerous way to consume alcohol. A major reason that for kids under 21 is that they know that they can be at legal fault for drinking, so it turns into what can be deemed as a calming or controlled event into what can transpire into a terrible occurrence where someone can become injured or worse. It's always disgusting to look at the statistics of deaths from alcohol for individuals from 18 to 21 in the U.S. compared to a lot of our European allies. It has become so much more appropriated over there where their kids are just growing up and learning how to handle their alcohol and move on with it and honestly use it in a positive way, whether that be a business meeting, family dinner, etc. The stigma around alcohol needs to change, and I believe this is the most effective way to accomplish this. Will it ever go away, and should it go away? Another very talked about question that is brought up by a lot of different people. The opposition will say the benefits of this issue going away should just outweigh the benefits of it staying. It's just something that it's not going to go away, which is why it's more important that it becomes more appropriated, which will become safer for use. Look at the way the perspective of marijuana has changed. And 50 years ago, if you were caught with marijuana, that's jail time, gotta get a court, a lawyer, everything. Now you'll find in places like Seattle everything's decriminalized because they know it's gonna happen, so they wanna help the people instead of punish the people that are becoming involved in those type of things. Another way to approach this issue ethically is to decide whether to regard the act of consumption as one of that of adulthood. If so, wouldn't that mean that once a person turns 18, a legal adult in society, as well as a court of law, you can do a lot of things, why should that liberty not be granted? And in addition, why would any person or group be able to limit the rights of another person if they meet the age of adulthood? It is not ethical for legal adults to not be allowed to partake in adult-like activities. It would be ethical to change the minimum drinking age so that less kids can be charged with bogus crimes that are honestly just a money grab by the government. Government doesn't actually care if you get better or if going to jail works or anything like that. They just want their money so they can build their things, build their highways. It's all a scam. In financial terms, the changing of the drinking age can bring in a lot more revenue for the government, which can then be allocated for smarter things such as transportation, medical things, infrastructure, further education, things like that. If kids are already buying it, then all the revenue is illegally created. So then by changing it, it makes it more ethical because everything about the sale and purchase is now legal. So there's less ramifications following. A common saying is that history repeats itself. And it is our job to take the knowledge that we have gained in the past and change it to make it better. As we have seen throughout history, the world has run smoothly and continues to do so in countries in Europe where the drinking age has become so low due to the kids growing up and knowing how to control their alcohol. People are underestimating the responsibility of 18 to 21-year-olds. The government should hand them the proper rights that they deserve. Why don't we, as a country, make this change? It is unethical for adults to not be able to enjoy their adult liberties. Thank you so much. You're the man.